Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about UFOs and aliens. After my video blog on the parallel worlds, I got a lot of questions about, well, do I believe in aliens, and what is my perception of what aliens are, and do I believe in UFOs and all of that. So first of all, yes. A simple answer is yes. Because do you really think that, we're the only ones here? That we're the only ones created? That, God didn't create other people on other planets and other existences as well as here? I think it's uncanny that people are actually afraid of, quote, aliens coming here. Do you not think they could teach us a thing or two? Because obviously they're pretty darn smart if they figured out how to manage a craft that got past the sun or got this far into wherever to find us. And how many other planets, solar systems, galaxies are out there with people on it? And I think it's funny because people make comments about, well, they have these big eyes and they look like this, and they're created like that to live on the planet they are from, just like we're built to live on this planet. And I also received a couple of emails about, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to say this correctly, but back in the 50s, there was these pictures of the alien who, was secretly taken to government place and died. And there's like this famous picture of it on a table, on a gurney. And a lot of people want to know, do I believe that? Do I believe that's a hoax? Do I believe that's real? No, I think it's perfectly logical to think that it's real. Because obviously this being would have died being in our environment when they're not from this environment. We did not allow it to go back to where it came from. So of course it was going to die. Of course, and of course, don't you think the government's going to cover it up? So, because just by ignorance alone, I'm not like defaming the government. It's just by ignorance of not having any knowledge and not knowing. But back to the bigger picture. We're not it. This little blue planet is not the only thing, that exists. And whether you look at that spiritually or you look at that scientifically, if you look at it spiritually, there are different dimensional levels, and we can exist in other planes and other places, and who says we can't exist on another planet somewhere else in a different lifetime? And then from the scientific standpoint, of course there has to be others out there. Of course there has to be other things out there. And, just because we can't get beyond the sun, which I think is our biggest obstacle, is we have not figured out how to travel. We figured out how to travel to the moon. We've figured out how to travel to Mars. But how about, traveling further away? Traveling beyond the sun, traveling to other galaxies. How about figuring out how to do that? Because once we figure out how to do that, then we're going to be the alien in someone else's world. And honestly, I would not be afraid of them, not in the least. Because ideally, guess what? They're pretty darn smart if they figured out how to get here. And we could learn a lot from them. And in my perception, they're probably quite friendly. But it's our reaction to them that causes them to react to us in possibly the wrong way. And again, we probably don't communicate the same way. We're from completely different worlds. So for those of you who are skeptics, who don't believe, evidence is more and more apparent that, we've been visited by others. Whether they have actually landed on our planet and walked around is another story. But hovering in our air, certainly. Go on YouTube and, do a search. In, I believe it was Turkey last year, a woman was doing a news report, and literally you see these people running in the background because there's these 3 crafts hovering over behind her, and it was amazing. It was just amazing. And you know, there's other videos like that as well. A gentleman in California, I believe like a month ago, saw something hovering over an area outside of his home, and it stayed there for hours, and when nighttime came, then it was gone, but then it returned. What are they looking for? Maybe they're trying to figure out what kind of atmosphere we have, so that they can try and exist here. I mean, look at when our men go to the moon. They have to have certain suits, they have to have certain protectiveness to exist on the moon or on Mars or wherever it is they go. You know, if they step out into, you know, onto the moon without protecting themselves, they're going to die instantaneously. So why would we expect any differently from someone coming from another dimension or another planet or another world? So I think people are kind of closed-minded when it comes to UFOs and aliens, and I think we should be more open-minded. Not that I think we, you know, we don't need to, like, you know, break down all our barriers and, you know, welcome them with open arms, but hello, we need to find out how to communicate with them before they get off their spacecraft. And if we could do that, just imagine how much we could learn. What an amazing planet we could be on. Oh my God, it's like the idea is like profound. It's truly profound on what we could become, how great we could become. And of course, there are those who would take the information and use it for ill good, which you have everywhere. But in the grand scheme of things, just imagine what they could teach us. And possibly what we could teach them. Maybe there are things about us that they don't understand. You know, maybe they communicate telepathically. That would be amazing if we could teach people in this world how to communicate telepathically. I do it with my dog all the time. I would love to be able to do it with, you know, family and friends. But yeah, that's not going to happen, I know. So I can just hear my family laughing right now. So be open-minded. Yeah, I think, you know, don't think we're the only ones here. And for those of you, and I know I'm going to get the emails, who say, God, why would God create something like that? Well, hello, why did God create you? You know, there is a purpose. There is a bigger purpose. And if you think that our infinite God is so little that he could not create other universes, other galaxies, other people, you have a really low opinion of him. So get out of your box and start thinking. Start thinking on a bigger picture, at the bigger picture, on a grander scale. And you know, do your research. Go online, go look. And you can tell when videos are fake. You can tell when videos are good. And the great part is the technology today, we're getting even better footage. So that makes a huge difference. So I think that's it for today. Ciao.